Hello and welcome to the oral case analysis of Heidi Roizen, a venture capitalist and entrepreneur who displayed consistency and performance to build a strong and successful network. I will go through each stage of her career and highlight her strengths. Let's begin with high school. In high school, Heidi decided that she was going to start a puppeteer business, basically to ease the finances for the unfortunate event of her parents' divorce. She used the strength of connecting with others to build her clientele. This continued as she finished her studies at Stanford, where she connected with one of her friends who was in touch with an HR representative at Tandem Computers. At Tandem Computers, there was an ideal position that she had sought out, which was to be the news editor of the company. She used the strength of initiative to make contact with that HR rep to land that position. She didn't realize that with this position, it came with high-level networking. At this point, she had to use the strength of being uncomfortable. And she did it so well that by the time she was ready to start her graduate studies, she was able to obtain a recommendation letter from the CEO. After her graduate studies, she decided that she was going to go into business with her brother, who had created the Teamaker product, which is your modern day Excel. And they decided that they wanted to operate it on its own cash flows. So that therefore brought back the strength of connecting with others, because they had to go to events and organizations to make sure that their product can get out there and get known and raise the demand from the consumer. She also decided to join the Software Publishers Association to do just that, and in true Heidi fashion, she eventually became the president. During all of this, she used the strength of being memorable, basically making an impact even if she only had 2 minutes. And then she also used the strength of seeing potential in others, basically connecting with those of not only of status of CEOs or VPs, but those who were just starting out in their career, who she thought of as rising stars. Eventually, the Teamaker product did strike success as it integrated with the Apple product. And in 1996, they decided to sell off the company to Deluxe Corp, and she parted ways and actually took a position with Apple, where she became a VP of Worldwide. She used her strength of favor, as Apple at this point was on a downturn. Their earnings were dropping rapidly. She reached out to CEOs of multiple software companies and had them commit to the Apple brand. And they did it because they know her expertise. They also knew her reputation, and they also knew her ability to produce the product. After parting ways with Apple, she decided that she was going to become a mentor capitalist. With becoming a mentor capitalist, she was able to use her strength of helping others. She helped startup companies get financed. She also helped associates gain gainful employment at these new startups, basically giving her a win-win situation. So in the future, if she ever needed these individuals, they were there and may be of even more stature than she could even imagine. During this time as a mentor capitalist, she had more time, so therefore she was able to use her strength of sociability to continue to build her network. She threw parties at her house as a potluck style, so everyone felt familiar and no one felt at odds. It basically gave a strength of trust, which is definitely necessary in today's modern society. After a while, she decided that she wanted to be a venture capitalist and go back to the structure and teamwork. She took a position at Silicon Valley, and she used the strength of maintaining good relationships, which was very much necessary, as a venture capitalist, she was turning down a number of business plans, and they were from individuals that she had known personally and from her prior boards or prior organizations. She made sure that she provided feedback, even though she was not going to take this plan. Even though she was not going to go forth with the plan, because it was necessary for future endeavors. She did not want to damage the network that she had already built. This eventually led to her strength of connecting with nuclei, because her demand as a venture capitalist was increasing so much. She needed to connect with the person who was the main contact in that network. So even if she wasn't on a day-to-day contact with everyone, she knew she can reach out to them if necessary, because they were already getting filtered information from her, from that person. Let's begin with Sadani and harassing the science of persuasion. Pointing out two principles: one, reciprocity, where this was done when she needed the favor when she was working with Apple for the CEOs to stay with the platform. This was a vital moment for her. It was the win-win situation that she needed at that point. She helped them out prior, so they won then, and now it was time for her to win. That true version of give and take. Then we move on to authority. When working as a mentor capitalist, she was able to help these startup companies, and they wanted her help. They wanted her to sit on the board because they knew that she had expertise, they knew that she had knowledge, and they also knew of her prior success as well. And then we move on to Uzi and Dunlap, how to build a network. She embodied the Paul Revere's strategy to the fullest, especially when connecting with Nuclei, and then also pushing that tea maker product to the publication so it can get out to the consumer without fault. Then we move on to Grant's work, where he detailed the book, Give and Take, and then we also had his blog, How to Be Productive Generously, and then his video as well. The first concept being burning the midnight oil, which is what she did when she was working at Apple, basically giving that giver's mentality. Like, she did as much as she possibly could to make sure that her network stayed strong, nothing was hindered, nothing was severed, and make sure everyone got the information they needed and not always exactly what they wanted. And then that also moving into the ability of her not applying the concept of being a doormat. She was willing to say no, but say no in the right way and provide that constructive criticism that does not hinder future endeavors. With that being said, to sum it all up, I do believe that Heidi is definitely a matcher, where she definitely wants the best for others, but she essentially wants the best for herself as well.